Welcome back. We're taking a look at the stories that have made it to the front page of the Daily's newspaper. Now, we'll quickly see how we can either punch in or guide you through what's going on the front pages this morning. Which of the stories are we running with? The Punch newspaper, it's quite heavy. It's looking very much with the news, but then you remember your thoughts are still very much welcome. The Punch, presidential election, Tinubu, Obi, others sign peace pact as campaign begins today. Of course, it's the 19th day of August 2026. Presidential election, Tinubu, Obi, others sign peace pact as campaign begins today. With the following riders: Tinubu warns against ethnic religious politics. Obi demands issue-based campaigns. Atiku, Makinde absent as candidates pledge violence-free polls. INEC deploys 1.4 million ad hoc staff for the 2027 poll, raises the alarm over misinformation. Also, 36 states budgets jumps 47% to 40 trillion naira, capital spending falls. The picture of Governor Abdul Razak is right beside our story. Federal government, state councils share record 3 trillion naira in July of this year. Salary crisis, NLC warns of fresh health sector crisis. Also, Nigerians pay more for cement than African neighbors, FCCPC says. NDLEA nabs alleged cocaine baron fleeing to Paris. Talk about one person who's been flaunting wealth, but now we've know the source of the wealth. No alliance. Adeleke denies ADC role in re-election. The picture on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have a cross-section right here. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joash Amupitan. We have the convener, National Peace Accord, Bishop Matthew Kuka, presidential candidates, and the political party leaders during the signing of the first National Peace Pact Accord by political parties and candidates ahead of the 2027 general election in Abuja. And of course, beside the nameplate, we also have off-cycle polls. Jonathan decries governor's show of force. Those are the stories you'll find on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Any of the stories interest you? Then let us know your thoughts.
Alrighty then, we switch over to the Nigerian Tribune this morning with the story. INEC projects over 100 million registered voters for 2027 polls to deploy 1.4 million ad hoc personnel to over 176,000 polling units. Police warn against armed groups' use of illegal firearms as Tinubu, Obi, others sign peace accord. That, of course, was a story that Marian read out on the Punch. Atiku, ADC absent. Committee facilitated 30 peace accords since 2015. This is coming from former head of state, Abdul Salami. Were committed to accord principle, Tinubu. All right, and away from that, Oshun APC Guba candidate Oye Bamiji calls for calm, raises alarm over attacks on supporters. And it appears they have not accepted the INEC result from the elections that were conducted on Saturday, but we'll get you more details on that. UI, that's the University of Ibadan, and Unilag lead Nigerian varsitors in global ranking. Well, what's their positioning on that global ranking? Details on page 10. Off-cycle elections, influx of governors, others poses threats to Nigeria's democracy. That's Jonathan. Recalls how he handled similar trend in Anambra and Ekiti in 2013 and 2014. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has criticized the growing practice of serving governors, senior political office holders, and other influential political actors converging on states during off-cycle elections, warning that the trend could undermine Nigeria's democratic stability. And you want to ask, how many governors did we have in Osun State before the elections? Well, the facts are there for you to also get yourself acquainted with everything that transpired. Beside that headline is the one that says 24 killed, many missing, others injured in fresh Plateau attack. Neighboring communities deserted. Women protest killings as victims receive mass burial. It's not a palatable story, but that's the one that's been captured on the Tribune this morning. Federal government and states, local governments share 3 trillion naira for July. Federal government, states, and local governments share 3.007 trillion naira for July. Residents allege ripoff as cooking gas sells for 1,500 naira per kg in Lagos and Ogun. Well, for those in the FCT, how much are you buying yours now? FCCPC finds possible price manipulation in Nigeria's cement market. All right, that's the Federal Consumer Protection Commission talking about a possible price manipulation in Nigeria's cement market. Well, which of these stories would you like to react to?
The Vanguard newspaper with the headline this morning, as 2027 campaign begins, high hurdle before candidate parties. That's a leading story on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. As following writers on that paper reads, 8 states announced 20 to 200 million naira permit fees. Tinubu, Obi, Atiku, others signed peace accord. Now vow issue-based campaigns. Tinubu warns against ethnic religious politics, says election not do or die. Obi tells voters to reject violence now, and of course, violators of accord. Obi tells voters to reject violators of accord. Peace Committee warns against hate speech, violence, fake news. Voters to hit 100 million. INEC begins cleanup of register list challenges. To deploy 1.4 million ad hoc staff across 176,000 polling units. We are ready for campaigns, Labour Party says. And we have the picture on the front page of the Vanguard. Parties signed peace accord. We have the political presidential candidate from the different political parties alongside party leaders on the front page of the Vanguard. 24 killed, many injured in fresh Plateau attack. Women protest killings as 24 victims receive mass burial. Don't lift Nigeria's CPC designation after Plateau killing, says U.S. Congressman. Stay away from off-cycle elections, Jonathan tells governors, powerful politicians. Reach honorary degree, rules phase 2-year ban, NUC warns varsity. High cost of cement, FCCPC probes possible price manipulation. Above the nameplate of the Vanguard, U.S. lift 12-year entry restriction on Nigerian vessels. IBB, IGP, Ike, Nwachukwu, Osoba, and others at the Vanguard at 40 book launch today. Trapped in your vehicle, Lagos roads turned into extortion jungle. Those are the stories you would find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper for today, Wednesday, August 19, 2026. Let us know your thoughts. 090-6202-9933. Which of these stories interest you? We'd like to hear your thoughts at this moment. You can